Hello, I'm David Dubato, and this is the No Delusion Zone for Friday, July 3rd, 2026. Well, we're less than 24 hours away from the 250th anniversary, the 250th birthday of my country, the United States of America, when 250 years ago tomorrow in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, delegates from the Second Continental Congress signed a Declaration of Independence from Great Britain, from King George, because we don't believe in kings here. No kings. Until now. I, as well as many, many millions of other Americans, will not be celebrating the 250th birthday tomorrow. For us, it's a sad occasion. It's almost a funeral. Why? Well, it's the death, or at least the near death, of our constitutional republic, of all of the values, the idea, and the ideals that the founders believed in when they founded this country. The whole point of separating from Great Britain and founding a new nation conceived in the belief that all men are created equal. And before you say, what about women? This was the late 7th or 18th century, folks. That's just the way it was said. It has changed here in the United States, but basically that all people in the jargon of that day were created equal, rather. That nobody was better. Certainly no kings or royalty was better than anyone else. And the ideals that this nation was founded on, which is a nation, a government formed of the people, by the people, and for the people, unlike a dictatorship, many of which still exist today. They exist for the dictator, for the government. The people of those countries are only meant to serve the government, whatever that means. This nation, the United States of America, was founded on, yes, an actual revolutionary concept that no one person or no one group of people or family were any better than anyone else. That the people who lived in this nation, the citizens, were just as good, just as equal as anyone else. That was the idea, the ideal that America was founded under. And even today, that's a revolutionary concept. Even here in this country, we obviously are having a problem with that because we now have a person, an ingrate, a loathsome creature, a convicted felon, narcissist, lunatic as president who thinks of himself as a king. No question about it. He believes he is above everyone else. He believes no law, including our Constitution, applies to him. He is quite prepared to rip it up, to do whatever he has to do to stay in power. And if that means crushing the citizens of the United States, if it means bulldozing, quite literally, over all of the governments, all of the pillars of our government, whether they be actual buildings or the foundation of the government, such as the Congress, the judiciary, a free press. No, nothing will stand in his way. He's obliterating it. And that's why I am not celebrating tomorrow. This is a sad occasion. There's really nothing to celebrate tomorrow unless you are an eternal pessimist, which I kind of am, but you would need to say there's nothing good, positive to celebrate tomorrow, the 4th of July. I am only celebrating in the hope that in the near future, this nation will return to its senses, will return to its roots, that enough people will get together and actually give a damn about their government and not just worry that their Wi-Fi is strong and stable and that they can get all the fast food they want and that they're not being kicked out of their house or their apartment yet, and that maybe they can afford to go to the grocery store this week. Next week, who knows? Until we get out of the mindset of oblivion, of not giving a damn about anything, we're doomed. This will continue because, as Donald Trump has said, he loves the poorly educated. All dictators love the poorly educated because they are easy to mold, easy to convince of anything, easy to lie to. And he is the liar in chief. He's lied more than any president that's ever held that office in the United States of America. And, I thought that I had seen the Supreme Court, which is under his thumb, seal our doom, actually nail the last nail in the coffin of a constitutional republic when they gave Donald Trump, or the office of the president, immunity over all criminal and civil liability. I thought that's it. And it pretty much is. But to add, I guess, another nail to the coffin, which wasn't really necessary, they just made a new law. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's the only focus of my pre-Independence Day podcast here. And that is something that most Americans and most people viewing this probably have never heard of. And it's called the Unitary Executive, the theory of the Unitary Executive. And this is a piece out of The Atlantic, and the title is The Ultimate Triumph of the Unitary Executive. And the subtitle is, a half century ago, a new and radical legal theory emerged. Now it's American law. And what this really does, and I'm going to read a brief excerpt here in a moment, it is icing on the cake to the immunity clause, to all of the other laws that have been passed recently over the last 18 months by this lawless, bootlicking Supreme Court. Basically, and again, I'm going to read this briefly, but it's a lengthy explanation if you really wanted to know all of it. Basically, the theory of the unitary executive states that all power from beginning to end should lie in the executive branch, i.e., the president. The president of the United States should be essentially a king. He or she should have all power all the time, be all powerful to everything. He should be able to hire and fire at will, to disobey laws at will, to write executive orders that completely disregard our laws, our Constitution, and have them become law. Basically, he is a king, appointed, as many Christian nationalists believe, by God. He is the prophet, God's prophet here on earth. And the Supreme Court of the United States pretty much agrees with that by all of the insane decisions they've been coming down with over the last year and a half or so. So again, I'm going to read this excerpt from this piece in The Atlantic about the new law, about the unitary theory of the executive branch. So hold on here just a moment while I pull that up. And it says, Again, this is what I'm calling another unnecessary nail in the coffin of the United States. The separation of powers that was explicitly written into the Constitution. So some lunatic like Donald Trump could not become a king, could not become a dictator, could not just run roughshod over all the other branches of the U.S. government and wreak havoc, basically become a dictator with no legal resource left to the government, to the other branches, or to American citizens. And that's exactly what they did when they gave him total immunity over criminal and civil liability. And now with this case of the theory of the unitary executive, where he now legally has the ability to hire and fire anyone within the government, federal government, at will for any reason whatsoever. And it goes without saying, put in there all his apparatchiks, his MAGA supporters, his cult members, which is what all dictators do. They fire the good, loyal, competent government employees, and then they bring in their loyalists, their apparatchiks, their cult members to do their bidding, as all good dictators do. That's what we have here in the United States right now. It wasn't enough that the Supreme Court said last year that he was immune to any criminal or civil prosecution whatsoever, making him essentially a king then, or a dictator. Now they've done this, which is going to result, of course, in mass firings of competent people, some of which have worked for the government for decades and know their job, and replacing them with Trump members, with MAGA bootlickers, ass kissers. And if we weren't already in a catastrophe here, in a doom spiral, well, we were, and this just adds to it. This is just another reason, folks, why I am not going to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country tomorrow on the 4th of July, 2026. And as I said, I am not alone in this. Tens of millions of Americans feel the same way. And with less than 24 hours left before that anniversary, I'll tell you, as I've said on all of these episodes in the run-up to the 4th of July, to our Independence Day, I don't know where this country is headed. Right now, it's headed down, away from a constitutional republic or anything resembling a democratic form of government. We now have essentially an authoritarian theocracy with the Christian nationalists and their perverted view of Christianity holding all the high positions within the government and placing more Christian nationalists in high key positions every single day. It's a disaster. It's very, very scary. And I can't predict where we're going. All I know is that me and millions like me are going to keep shouting as loud as we can against this insanity, against these traitors, because they are traitors. And that's it for today. I may or may not post something tomorrow on the actual 4th of July. If I feel up to it, I'm not too nauseous and sick to my stomach about what is sure to be shown in front of the White House, where Trump has promised to give basically an expanded Trump rally for who knows how long, until he keels over or gets tired or whatever. And I just won't watch that. So until I see you next time, folks, please do support this channel. I need all support I can get to keep this voice going, just like many, many others like me, voices to the opposition of this lunacy. So please tell your family, your friends, your coworkers to look at, to view, and like and subscribe to the No Delusion Zone. And until next time, you all, please take care, stay safe, and stay sane.